Hello, it's Jane, and welcome to my unsolicited opinion. So today I'm commenting on an article I've seen on Facebook, and it's to do with the Kisii dad who is alleged to have murdered his two children. The two daughters, one is 4 years old, the other one is 10 years old. From the story I read, I did not get a lot of information regarding the mother and the family structure. I don't know if this is a dad who was visiting with his children. I don't know if he's the primary custodian of the children. I don't know if the mother is in the picture or not. I don't know what about the grandparents. I don't know what the family structure was. I only say that because if he is the sole parent, then these two children would have looked up to him to be as the provider, provide security, provide stability, and provide for everything. So they would not have seen it coming that he would perpetrate such a crime against them if in fact he did commit these crimes. And that's very sad to have somebody you trust and you have faith in that they will provide for you when you're vulnerable, when you're young, when you cannot go searching or seeking for your own, and such a thing happens. I think it's very disturbing, and I think at that moment they would have been very confused, and it is very sad. On the other hand, you have to think of the mental state the dad was in when he committed these crimes, if he did commit these crimes. I don't know if he did or not. It must have been very confusing. I don't think the average person on the street, the average dad would commit those crimes. I don't think they would do it in a normal state of mind. I think they must have been stressed out. There must have been something going on. I would not say he was 100%. He had 100% mental capacity when he was doing this. That's just my opinion. I don't think it's normal for a dad to just do this to his daughters, allegedly. So, and that brings me to comment about my community. So, I grew up in a rural area, but within my family, which are spread out between rural areas and the urban areas, there was never talk about mental health. I grew up with an alcoholic dad. I grew up with mental health issues within the family, but I did not, know this until I was much older. There's no talk of mental health issues, and it's there's a saying that every village has its own mad person. And that is true, and it happens world all over, as far as I know. I think there's been research done. I think it was done in UK or in USA, and it says black men don't seek mental health services, and if they do it so late that they end up, most of them get bad outcomes, so most of them commit suicide. And I think this goes back to our African roots, where mental health issues are taboo, or we tend to look to sort them out in-house without realizing there's actually treatments out there that are there to help with these things. And also there are diseases that run in the family, so they're genetic. Schizophrenia is one of them. I think low mood, depression, severe depression can run in the family. These are all diseases that, there's a genetic link to them. And things like bipolar, and also like some of the behavioral things running, they're genetic. So it's easy to say, oh, on Facebook it says, oh, this is Kisii, you should build a wall around Kisii and let them kill each other. I think that's a little bit too naive to say that, because this can happen literally to anybody. It just needs to be in the right environment and the right ingredient for somebody to tip over if you're vulnerable to these things. On the other hand, I think the society could do much better by being more welcoming or more understanding of people with mental health issues. It is a disease just like any other. If somebody's got a broken leg, people give them away. I don't understand why we don't give the same tolerance to mental health. And that's probably because if you have a broken leg, we can see it. But if you have mental health issues, they're not visible. the only time they become visible is when somebody does something extreme, whether it's self-harm, or if it's harm to others, or they're clearly in distress, or they're having hallucinations or stuff like that. And I think that's the issue with mental health. It's pretty much hidden disease. It's just like some of the mental or learning disabilities, pretty hidden for a few people, and I think that's the issue. But I think we all need to be a little bit more tolerant of the people with these issues if we know of them. But also, it's like within families, maybe have a conversation and go like, yeah, your granddad had this disease, and there's a possibility it could be passed down the generation. But for you to be able to do that, you have to know that information. But also being able to know what traits to look out for. I don't think somebody just snaps and does these things. There will be people, even villagers, they will say, I mean, and by villagers, I mean people without any medical background. They'll say, oh, he's an oddball, or he does weird things, he talks to himself. And these are all symptoms for mental health issues. And so, yeah, maybe, in my opinion, I think it's easy to judge the dad and say he's done a heinous, action, of which it is heinous, whoever did it. But on the other hand, we have to consider how he got there. Has he got any mental health issues? And be open to fully understand what happens. And if we understand this case, then we can help, or you can give that information to other people so that they know what to look out for, so that it doesn't keep happening. Anyway, that's my unsolicited opinion about it. If you don't agree with me, let's meet in the comments below.